So, Crystal B, have you ever played hide and seek with your supervisor at work?
I'm not really because actually I'm like my own supervisor actually at work, but by all means.
You ought to try it. So, yesterday I had told my boss that we was playing hide and seek with each other, and she had to find me. That was the goal of the day. And then she had the nerve to tell me, no, no hide and seek. Like, yeah, we're gonna play hide and seek, woman, and you're gonna do it well. I mean, I'm pretty hard to find though, so I'm really good at it hiding at work.
That's good. You find a high spot. That's good. That's good. And that's the people at my work when I'm doing cleaning also in the restrooms, they like to like sit and play on their phones for like 20 minutes. And then I can
Yeah.
enter the restroom, or people will like I have a routine and they just won't interact with me. Now,
Mhm.
that is actually, and it doesn't matter where you are, that's actually insubordination. You know, you should be, if someone is, knocks or says, whatever it is, and you don't wish to reciprocate and say something,
Mhm.
yeah, it's actually like borderline insubordination. I mean, it's not cool, but there's people that are older than us. Just think, we're you're almost there, and I'm like 34, and
Almost there. What kind of shenanigans is this? Almost
you're
there.
almost there, really. But I will tell you, hands down, is that it's crazy that people just can't, older people can't. Why can't you be respectful? You were taught at a young age to be respectful of people. It doesn't mean it's who you are. Again, we're not going to go into the whole, lines down the road. We're all human beings. Just be respectful. Be a decent person. That's it. Please be a decent person. That's
You're talking about those Generation Z's that nobody liked.
well, them and some of the older ones, and they're like 40s,
Oh,
50s, and 60s.
the boomers.
The boomers that just don't want to listen at all, or they say, "Oh, I can't hear you because I have hearing protection." And baloney, baloney. I talk loud enough in the men's restroom. I talk in the women's. I talk a little quieter because they all can hear me. But the men, I'm not gonna say that what they do outside of work. Maybe they don't wear ear protection if they do use equipment, and it could be real noisy. They might have bad hearing. That's no big deal. But if someone even knocks, or just God, be a decent human being. Just be decent.
Some people don't have it in them to be a decent human being.
So let's start out because we're doing this. How was your day? How was your day
Oh,
over?
I forgot the intro. Welcome everybody to Same Cast, Different Day podcast. I'm Martel Roland here with my co-host Crystal B. Thank you all for tuning in.
We're start
I
a
totally
little
forgot.
preview.
I
We're starting a
totally
little preview.
forgot.
I was gonna say it anyways. So welcome to Sandcast Every Day, and we just started out by just talking a little bit about what's going on, with people, So, and yes, welcome to the podcast, everybody. So Martel, how's your day and week been? Because I can tell you, I'm not sure what's going on my end, but let's hear yours first.
My week has been pretty good. I kind of hate my work assignment. I kind of been blowing off, kind of talking to old Yeller. Um, Other than that, it's been pretty good. It's been mellow. I've been very sleepy lately this week.
Hmm.
Like it's been hard for me to stay woke. Other than that, though, it's been pretty good.
I mean, if you begin like sleep, like enough sleep, at least like 7 hours of sleep, at least.
No, the other day, I think Monday night I went to bed at like 1:30, and then I think Tuesday night I went to bed at like 12:30 ish. And then I think Wednesday night, Wednesday is when I fell asleep at like 6 o'clock. But then I had woke back up at like 1 o'clock ish. So then I was up to like 3, 4 o'clock, and then slept for like an hour and a half, and it was back up to go to work.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
And then I kept falling asleep on and off today. So like I was supposed to go pick up a pie from my aunt that she had made for one of my coworkers.
Mhm.
But they had paid her to make a pie. And yeah, I forgot to go get it because I kept dozing off. Like I got up, I went to the bank, went and bought me a salad today, and came back home and just kept waking up and falling asleep.
I think maybe just not that the lack of sleep finally some caught up to you, where it's like, okay, now the body wants to shut down. I will say,
Yeah.
last Thursday after we had that storm and I only had 4 hours of sleep, I was amazed I made it to work. I was beeping amazed. I was amazed. My boss is like, Claire, Crystal, I expect you to be calling in sick. I'm like, uh, whatever. It's work. Need to show up. I need to pay the bills. I'm trying to save money up for my surgery. I said, so
Yeah.
he was, And actually, a real snip, real quick, as we talk about that. We have talked about the last few podcasts, but if you actually get a chance, everyone on TikTok, and then actually, if you actually check out Martel's and my Facebook page, actually, we have a Same Cast Different Day podcast website from direct.me, which is awesome. If you want to check out my fundraiser, you can always do that too. There's always that option to check me out as direct.me/carebear131.
Yeah,
so make sure
check that out.
You can check that out. If you wish to donate, leave a note, and you wish to share that with people, please. We're not asking for money by all means, because once my surgery is done, we're going to be having a donation for the podcast so we can upgrade stuff and do things and have fun with everybody. Maybe travel around the world someday. I don't know. Get to meet people. I don't know. Maybe we'll sign your shirts or whatever, hats.
Speaking of traveling around, I'm kind of jealous of Brandon right now.
Oh, yes, because he's in Italy.
Yes, I am so jealous because I was supposed to be going next year, but then I ended up being off work for 8 months, so that I missed that time lapse to start paying on the trip to go. So it's like now I have to put it off for like another year or whenever they do it again. So I'm kind of jealous.
So as we start the podcast out, before we introduce ourselves, so how do you play hide and seek? I'll talk about myself a little bit. How do you play hide and seek with your supervisor? I mean, I see that you have wrote some interesting notes. I've seen those already that you actually have sent me through social media apps, which is funny. But so how do you actually hide from your boss? Like,
so sometimes she doesn't know she's playing hide and seek with me. Well, okay, majority of the time she doesn't know she's playing hide and seek with me. But I know that at certain times where the supervisor comes and walk around and stuff. So I like, okay, well, it's time for me to go hide. So I always make sure I'm never in the area when she's walking the floors and stuff. So most of the time be like, I see her, but she wouldn't see me. And then I get a page on my phone like, hey, I didn't see you. I'm like, ha ha ha, I'm hiding from you. You gotta find me.
Oh my goodness.
She's never able to find me. Nobody can find me. It's very hard to find me. Especially when you work in a place where the square footage is over 1 million square feet. It's very hard to find me.
Yeah, because you could be in any floor, any section, where you are. Yeah.
The thing is though, literally they know, like most of the time when I'm hiding, I'm always on the floor. I'm just good at not being seen.
There you go.
Even with a bright red scrub top on, I'm very good at not being seen.
That's crazy. That is nuts. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just nuts. I'd
be bored, and then like I said, I kind of hate my job at the same time still. So
yeah.
And then I sometimes like, well, I'll get paid enough to do the work that they ask me to do, so I'm not going to do all the work that they ask me to do, and then I go hide.
And see, the problem is a lot of companies, and that hasn't changed. I mean, since talking to people, even starting that had jobs. Now we're not talking jobs from like the 90s, 2000s. We're talking jobs like when you had in the 80s and 70s and going back, to early 1900s, where companies actually gave a damn. And I don't mean to swear about, but it's true. They gave a damn about their employees. They actually cared about them. They would be like, if you need extra time off, wherever else. The problem is, in 1978, the system went from taking care of employees to being greedy people that are running the companies, and that's too bad. Now, I'm not going to say all are. We're not trying to put companies down, but I think a lot more companies really need to refocus on what people need, not what they want. What do you need? What are some incentives to keep you there? Because every company, all of a sudden you put your notice in. It's a week, 2 weeks, whatever else, a month, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
They try everything to throw stuff at you. But I said, the problem is they can throw everything at you, but it's not going to change.
Right.
If you're already in a toxic environment, why stay there? You just need to branch out. I mean, I'm even trying to branch out myself. Okay, I love my job. It's great.
The
But
issue that I'm having is the people who work during the worst time of the pandemic were treated very poorly. Like we didn't get a hazard pay. We didn't get no anything really special. We didn't get I think December they gave us like a $200 bonus when there were like other organizations who gave their people $1,200 to $1,400 bonuses. So and then what else? And then for newer people coming in, they're bringing them in and making more money than the people that's been there. And then on top of that, instead of treating the people that you already have there well, you're treating them like crap.
Yeah.
So for the smaller guys like me, we didn't get like some of the nursing staff got received. Oh well, if you stay here for 4 years and you stay here and work for us, we're going to give you a $10,000 bonus. And for the smaller people, they didn't get anything.
Get someone on your TikTok.
Yeah, it says name a football player for a edit RQ. I can't see from that far from a distance.
Oh.
I don't know what edit RQ is.
I don't know.
Yeah, so it was throwing me off a little. But yeah, like I said, they like the smaller people didn't get anything. And it's the smaller people who is keeping this place open. It's the smaller people doing the stuff that the higher people don't want to do, and yet treated the worst and then received nothing during this whole entire pandemic. And one thing they did give us was a free meal out the cafeteria, but it wasn't like you can get whatever you wanted out the cafeteria. Is what they chose to gave you out the cafeteria.
Yeah.
The food there sucked because they don't fry, they don't have any fried foods. Everything is either grilled, boiled, or baked. So there's not like there's any food there that people really would enjoy.
And that's not, to me, I think everyone, and I think we talked about this on our podcast, was, to me, I feel that everyone that worked 2020 all the way through, okay, even if you did not have a job, okay, all right, and even if they started this as of March of 2020 up until March of this year, I think, to me, people that are working, okay, or got laid off or whatever else, should have got per month an extra $1,000 tax-free money.
Nope.
But that's what I'm saying. They should have.
If I feel like if you wasn't working and you was already getting unemployment plus the extra $600, whatever they was getting, I feel like that was enough.
Okay, so just maybe then the people working. Okay, now understand.
Now for the people working, I feel like they should have got some type of extra cent of $1,000 tax free.
Yeah.
For every month. Now those people should have got some working, because those are people who are still getting up every day, going to work, putting their lives at risk, risking catching a virus when there was no vaccine at the time, literally can die because they're going to work. Now those people, I feel like, who should have got at least something out of this whole ordeal, but got nothing.
And I will admit, I mean, I worked, through this pandemic since, well, I don't know, April, of last year. I mean, I was laid off for a month, but that happens. Work sometimes slows down and you get laid off. But yeah, to me, even though unemployment did come through for me, which was crazy of all things in my life, I think that the people that are working it should have some kind of incentive. If you worked 12 months, let's say it's $1,000, right? Mm-hmm. That's $12,000 tax free, right? To me, if you would have given people even 10 grand, okay, that you worked a complete year through COVID before vaccine, right? Okay, you give people 10 grand, all right? Some people will spend it that worked, okay, don't get me wrong. There are people out there that really need stuff, okay? Don't get me wrong, Mm-hmm. But I don't think that because we are still part of this epidemic that you shouldn't. I mean, everyone that is working, I agree with that, should have some kind of extra hazard pay.
And I agree with that. But then the big problem that I have is the people who didn't work and took advantage of not working and had the opportunity to go back to work and chose not to go back to work. And yet these people, like, I don't agree with the money they're coming up with help people pay their rent and stuff like that. I feel like if you had the opportunity to work or had some type of income coming in, you should not be eligible for that money.
Mhm.
Because somewhere that at some point in time, if you're receiving the full unemployment benefits plus the extra $600 and you getting this every week, they're like, that's more than you was making going to work. No
Oh
matter
yeah.
what your job was, that's more than what you was making going to work.
Hmm.
So why weren't you able to pay your rent? Why weren't you able to pay your electric and gas bill? Like, there was no excuse why so many people are getting evicted. Like, you were literally getting free food. Like, some of you were getting emergency food stamps where you were getting, depending on how many kids you got, like, there are people walk around with $7,000 worth of food stamps and have nowhere to even spend all this money or put this food at, but have $7,000 worth of food stamps.
Jeez, holy
So
crap.
these people not only are they getting free food, but there was emergency assistance people, like energy assistance. I don't know what it's called in other states, where they was paying people electric and gas bills, and then now you got this program to pay rent. Like, these people shouldn't be eligible for them things. If you had the means to pay it during the pandemic and you chose not to, they shouldn't be able to qualify to get their rent paid and stop the eviction.
I mean, to me in Wisconsin now, I believe I was told by September 1st, the extra $300 that people are getting for unemployment,
Mhm.
even though you still have to apply for jobs, you still have to do their typical things that I think that happened back in February or March of this year of 2021.
So that actually took effect this month. I mean, well, July. It was like the end of July where they had to start actively looking for jobs in order to receive their benefits.
That's what happened. Okay.
So they
Okay.
had all this year still where they didn't have to work or look for a job and was getting all these benefits and just chose still not to pay rent or whatever the excuse was.
Which is completely stupid by all means. That's dumb. You know,
I'm-
really.
I mean, because if you're not working, because it's not like a lot of these people are paying for childcare because, for one, they wasn't working and their kids is not in school. So why do you need childcare if your kids not even, if you're not even working?
No, you can just you can and they probably said I can understand in certain situations where they're making maybe 725, you know, and even waiters and waitresses. Okay, let's talk about them real quick. They're
Mhm.
making $2, $3, $4 an hour. Okay, plus tips. All right, you know, do the math. If you're making $200, maybe with tips, maybe $300 a week. I mean, you know, that's to me, $300 a week is to me, you're almost living, you're living so poorly. It's not even funny.
It's like living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, it's similar to me in my little situation where I live, you know, they're like, well, you got 24 hours to clean this up. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm sorry. I don't have tons of funds to be just snapping shit up like that. You know, just
Right.
to me is, I think on the consumer end of it, I think a lot of these fine print and this and that, just all this shit needs to be gone. Make it straightforward. Be like, listen, you're gonna get, everyone gets, like it's no different. Like say on your, you pay your rent or whatever you pay. Say you're a week late, okay? Yeah, they'll charge you $5 or a small percent, whatever else, okay? But don't ding somebody in their credit because they couldn't pay it all up front. Again, maybe they got something going on, let's look at the real picture.
I agree with that if they're late like a week, but we're talking about people who went 6, 7, 8, 9 months without paying rent and had the means to pay their rent and just chose not to.
Yeah, well, they chose to, Now I'm just talking about those people that were waiters and waitresses. I'm just saying in restaurants, but those people that they had enough time to save money, pay up their stuff because actually my one of my parents and I were talking about this, that it's crazy that all that money they didn't pay in for rent, all the money they didn't pay in utilities, all that money they didn't pay for car loans or house loans or whatever it is, or whatever loans you have, student loans. Just think all that stuff was froze up until recently, and now you have to start paying it. So just think that big. So now instead of say your rent is like 500 a month plus our utilities, so it's you're paying $1,000 a month. I'm saying, right? Let's take a guess, because you could be. I'm not going to say that this numbers could work ever around the world, but in certain parts of the U.S. and stuff like that. But just think. So now, if you stacked up all this money that you saved up, right, and you went and bought a brand new TV, and you had enough money to buy a different vehicle and all this other stuff like that, instead of taking care of the bills, yes, to me, those people, I agree with you on that. They should not be babied anymore. No, no. It was fine what Trump did to start it up. Okay, Donald J. Trump did a good thing by halting stuff.
Yeah, the whole stuff, but giving out the stimulus jump started the economy.
Yeah.
He did a good thing.
And I agree with them on that. Again, we're not here to choose political lines.
But my whole thing is like you said, like they didn't really, because like my car payments was still due. Like there was no freeze on my car payments, so all my stuff was still due during this pandemic. Nothing froze for me, so I still have to pay even when I was off work. And I was getting only like probably like $300 to $400 when I was off from work, and that was only $300 or $400 a week. I wasn't getting an extra $600, and I was still able to pay my car note, car insurance, my health insurance, my life insurance. I was paying all my bills still.
Yeah.
And but a lot of these people who was getting all this extra money from unemployment and plus stimulus checks and all these other things and resources, like from food stamps and all these places, like they were taking this money, like you said, going and go, like as soon as a stimulus check came out, Walmart dropped the price of their TVs and everybody was at the stores buying flat screen TVs. You saw everybody flocking to Vegas. You saw everybody flocking to Florida. Like these people took this money, instead of paying their rent and bills and stuff, they decided to go and took that money, went on vacations.
Yeah, they don't know how to manage their money. And a lot of people don't.
I don't think it's fair that now the people who have been working during this whole entire pandemic is now picking up the bill for all these people who sat at home, went on vacation, and did this and that during this whole entire pandemic.
And again, that brings us right back to the hazard pay. I completely agree that even if it was a $10,000 check, I'm just gonna make it an easy number, right? To me, 10 grand, you dropped everyone that did, even if you, depend on where you were working and depend on if you were laid off or whatever else, that's a different story. But if you were, even if they had to say, well, we can only give you eight out of 10 grand, you only work eight out of whatever it is, or 12 months. But it's saying that chunk of money, I understand there's some people that do make 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks now. Okay. And trust me, they probably aren't doing that bad off. Okay. But the people making, I'm just going to take a stab at it. The people make $35,000 a year or less probably have the hardest time right now with the increased price of everything. I mean, you gotta almost be making $16 an hour in the state of Wisconsin. Really,
the price of food is very expensive.
Yeah,
and like I said, like the people who make, so basically the people who makes over $25,000 a year receive no help, no state assistance. You get no food stamps. You don't get rent assistance. You don't get energy assistance. You get nothing. You get no help whatsoever.
Nope.
You're paying for everything that you have. You paying out of your own pocket with no help. And you gotta think $25,000 is still not a lot of money to be making and survive off of, and to be doing all this stuff out of pocket. It's amazing that how many people are surviving.
If you take that by 52 weeks, just out of this saying, it's when maybe if taxes, you're probably looking at roughly it's 480 before tax. So I'm just gonna say it's about 425, 430. So just think about that a week. Okay. So and depending on if you have a credit card, and then, if you're trying to save some money, to be honest with you, this economy has not made anybody richer.
So, right. So when I first started at the company that I work for now, I was making 1070. And now I'm about 17 something. I don't know how much it is. So, but when I first started there, after 2 weeks, after working 2 weeks, after taxes, health insurance, long-term disability, short-term disability, dental, and all them other things that come out your check, retirement, all that stuff, I was only left with probably about $630 every 2 weeks
Oof.
when I
Right.
first started working for the company I'm at now.
1260 a month. I mean, that's like, just, oof. I make just a little less than 1600 a month or around that, really right now. And it's so it's come to the point where the price of gas and maintenance and just general stuff for a vehicle, to the point of I might, it's as sad as it says, is like people always say, hey, just stick with what you got or find something else. I might wind up buying a little front wheel drive car, really for just the gas, just because this is my only option for saving money right now.
Yeah,
Seriously, that's the only way
yeah.
to go.
Like a lot of people, like some people will tell me, like, "Oh, you spend too much on your car." Like, I feel like I've worked hard enough to be able to drive what I want at this point,
Yeah. Well,
and that's what I'm going to do. And a lot of people, like I said, well, you only do this, so you do this for a living, so you shouldn't be like, don't tell me what to do. I really hate that, and I feel like once you get to that certain point, like you feel like you work hard enough for it, and you're gonna find a way to make it work. Like I always tell people, people ask me like, "Do you work overtime?" I say no, and they be like, "Why?" I feel like I say if I can't make it off the 8 hours I work a day, the 80
yeah.
hours a week that I work, I mean
Mm,
80 hours a paycheck that I work. If I
yep.
can't make it off of that, then that means it's not meant for me to have it.
No. Mm-mm. No. And it's the point where, like, one of my parents was in the union for 30 plus years, and they're like, I wouldn't work for a job at less than 20 bucks an hour right now, the way it is. And a few years ago you said 15. And he's like,
Mhm.
and don't get, I'm their child, and if my parent makes a suggestion, don't go. I mean, I'm more than willing to look at the suggestion. And yes, I'm gonna try better myself. You're doing the same thing, Martel. We're both trying to better ourselves, find something that actually it may start out good, and then who knows how it's going to turn out from there. But you know what? If the benefits are there, if the money's more, and if it's going
Mhm.
to be something long term, I mean, definitely, really, by all means. To me, people should be making, to me, a regular service industry job should not be making 9 to like 13, 14 bucks an hour. It shouldn't be. Not anymore.
I agree.
You should be making 15 to 20 bucks an hour. Seriously. If you work in the service industry, actually, we both do this. We both work in the service industry. Um, I have worked in many different divisions of a service industry, and they don't pay well. They don't. Yeah, you're on contracts. I mean, yours isn't, but I'm on a contract. But it's like, really, you can't think about everybody else that you're going to try to hire and bring incentives in by saying this and this. I mean, now they're trying to get people in, making more money than me. And I told my boss, I'm like, I'm not training them. I'm not training them. I'm like, you got to
Exactly.
put me up above their pay scale for me to train them.
Yeah, like so, like I said, I work in the healthcare field, and it's like, oh, they were like, oh, well, we need people to train, and I was like, well, it's like I didn't renew my preceptor, and I was like, why? I said because it's not worth the extra. You gonna pay me an extra $1.25 an hour to train somebody? Like it's not worth it. I don't want it. It's not worth the headache. I don't want to do it. And on top of that, I'm not afraid to train somebody who's basically coming in making more money than I am. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, I think it's stupid. Really, companies are trying to throw incentives to get people to make more money. Well, you know what? Why don't you, instead of trying to throw, it's good to get new employees. Okay, try to get new employees in a company. But you know what? Pay those people that show up to work every day and give them the bonus, give them the pay raises,
But
keep them there.
my whole like for me, my whole thing is I'm considered a veteran at this facility. Oh no, you're frozen for me. Uh-oh, Crystal is frozen. There we go. So like I said,
Okay.
I'm considered a veteran at this facility. So like I've been there, I'm getting like I'm 7 years there now, so I'm getting close to that 10-year mark.
Wow.
So for me to be there for working for your company for nearly almost 10 years and for you to bring in someone who's making more money than me and expect me to train them is a big no-no. Because if anything, you bring in your newer employees and you bring them in, and they mostly make less than the people who's already been there, who put in their time. Like I put my time in to get to what the pay that I'm at now, and it took me 7 years to get to this pay. And then you're gonna bring in somebody that's fresh off the street making more money than me after you made me work my way up to this. Like it's not fair.
No, it's not fair at all. You should be treated this. You should give the same treatment that not just a current employee does, but as a new employee. You should have the same. That's it. There should be no like. I understand people are going to be favored towards other people because they might be more like this person may like this person because they kind of connect them, and that's fine. Again, whatever. Everyone connects on different levels. That's not a big deal. But no favoritism or be like, I'm going to give this person a pay raise because they're doing awesome, and this person, well, they come to work, but I don't know. I'm just okay with them. But you know what? I'm not saying they're. What happens? Why are they just okay? Did you have a talk with them? Did you speak with them? Did you find out what's going on? I mean, don't get me wrong. I haven't been a team lead, assistant manager for multiple companies in my past for a reason. I've only done it because nobody else wants to take the position. Okay. I mean, yes, it does come with incentives and pay raise, everything else, which I'll be getting. But the point of the story is that I told my boss, I said, listen, if you want good employees, okay, I'll train them. Okay. I'll get the money for training them, everything else, right? But what you need to do is I said, I can't, I'm just not your number two. You need to take care of them. That means you need to reach out to them. If they're having a problem or they need to go home sick or whatever else, then make sure you are.
Oh no, Crystal has frozen again on us, everybody. So I don't know where she was going with this. Please power the Christmas tree be with this. Please power the Christmas tree. Oh, she's frozen on TikTok too, because we're live on TikTok, everybody. Claire, aka Crystal B, is frozen on TikTok. So she might have to reboot here. Okay, we are back.
Well, as we were talking about, we were talking about the hazard pay for people actually working during COVID, which to me I think is a great thing. First of all, why people were not paid that? I mean, we talked about a little while ago about companies taking care of people, so which is true. But why can't we get some kind of hazard pay? And you know what? Recently I spoke to a customer service person, talking about things, and they even agreed with me too. Now, again, I'm not going to say what company it was, not like that. I keep it all private. But to me, I think that was a solid thing. Like, why can't we just take care of those people that are already out there in the front lines working? Not just doctors and nurses, everybody.
That is true.
Don't be taking care of it's great to take care of everybody, okay? Don't just take care of certain people or people in that certain branch of a company, okay? Take care of everybody, okay?
All right.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
And to me, it's no different like the LGBT. Sorry, I'm stuttering here. Like the LGBTQIA group, 2+. Okay, we all work together. Okay, if the LGBTQIA was a group, okay, or a business, right? Okay. We have a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds, right? And all over the world, right? We'd probably be a billionaire company, okay? But we would include everybody with everything, good benefits and everything else. I'm just taking an example, okay? So, as an example of being part of this group, okay, or even being an ally, is that you're agreeing that you're willing to stand up and fight for us. So, if we're all part of the same group, why can't companies fight for us and give us, to me, why can't a CEO, a board of directors, why can't the people that make good money, why can't they just go and be like, hey, by the way, we're going to take money out of our accounts when we're getting paid, okay? Or we're writing everybody out a check once a month, and I'm going to pay the taxes on it. Or not just me, but I'm saying it as an example.
Mhm.
Why can't we have that? What's wrong with it?
Because people want to keep their money and they're selfish. I don't
And,
know.
and that's true, you know. I mean, we talk about, you know, I mean, I've had a rough week already. It's been one thing after another has been thrown at me, which, I mean, at least it's some small stuff and things have been able to get fixed. But
Mhm.
I will say this week has been turning out to be. I'm not sure if it's like a full moon. I don't know, Martel, if it's a full moon going on or whatever. But
Who knows?
I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. But you know what? It's true. It's greed. It sucks. Why you gotta be so greedy? You know.
Right.
You know. I mean, there's a song out there by Taylor Swift saying, "Why you gotta be so mean?" Well, why you gotta be so greedy? You know why? Why can't you just be a decent person? I mean, there was a CEO I watched a video a few years ago. This guy was willing to pay his employees a dividend of his salary.
I remember hearing about that.
I was like, wait, what? This guy is making billions of dollars, billions, like just making money, right? You know, he's
Mhm.
making tons of money. And he's like, hey, by the way, you know, he got his whole business together. I don't know how many people it was. Could have been 10, 15, I don't know. Could have been more. And everyone got like, I don't know, maybe a $20,000 or $30,000 bonus, just like that.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, wait, why? Why stop being greedy? You know,
Right.
you're controlling the wrong thing. Take
Yeah,
care of the people. Take care of the people.
you are correct. And for the listeners out there, if you're wondering why there's a change in audio, Crystal has some internet hiccups, so we are doing this, recording this the classic way with Crystal on the phone and with my phone on speaker with a microphone by it.
Yep. So sorry to say, everyone, but yeah, I had to do the old-fashioned way of when we actually had to call people on a phone, and before they had Zoom or Facebook Live and all this other good stuff like that. You know, it happens. You know, people could run into stuff. Could have been some that got, you know, I don't know. It could have been a storm. Who knows what could happen? I always think of it this way. It's kind of like when somebody hits a telephone pole that has
Mm-hmm.
electricity on it, and it just knocks the transformer out to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't do just that to the house. It knocks the whole block or half the city or whatever, you know. So just, I don't know how far this outage is. I don't really look because I don't have internet right now. But I'm like, well, whatever. That's the way that goes. So, but it's pretty funny because when you call the company up and tell them that it was for work related,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden they're like, wait, what? I'm like, this is work related. I'm on a yeah. We have a set time when we're doing this. She's like, oh. She's like, well, I'm gonna put a note down in your account to make sure that there's no issues, or hopefully they can get it up and rolling sooner. So, you know, who knows? Maybe they will. So far nothing. So I don't know.
Wow. Wait,
I don't know.
so you have no power right now?
No, I have power. I have power.
Oh, okay.
I just don't have internet.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
So
Damn
will
you,
tell you,
Spectrum.
and I will say that, you know, Spectrum used to be Charter, and I don't know what it was before. I have no idea, you know, by all means. But you know, this brings up a good point, and everyone in business, because you know, granted, I'm only new to it since April. Okay, so I'm only new to the company since April. What I got to say is that sometimes you wonder if having a portable hotspot, like a prepaid hotspot, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
for situations could help. And you know, in business, businesses always have, you know, per monthly hotspots or prepaid or else. And sometimes in life, you know, and this is something me, Martel, and I'll look at. Maybe this is a good backup plan that we might have to look into. Some other, you know, and as we were trying to get out there, you know, the website again, direct.me/samecast different day podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We can leave notes about us and everything else. maybe as we can start getting sponsors and people to sponsor us for different shows, then maybe we'll be able to upgrade and maybe we'll get some stuff. So maybe then we won't have to do the old-fashioned phone way. We'll actually be able to keep our Zoom going, which would be awesome. That'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah, good thing I remember I got the backup plan.
Of all things in our life, of all things, of all
I
things.
mean, it's working out. So like only play like when the video version come out, they're only gonna be able to see me for this part. So sorry if you didn't want to see this mug. I'm sorry. Stuff
No, you're
happens.
fine. It's okay. Don't worry. We'll be back next. I'll be back next week. I promise. We'll get there next. They'll get there next going. Hopefully, the next few hours with me. So don't worry.
I mean,
So
we're
by the time
pre-recording
this,
2 episodes in the same day, so it's gonna be like 2 weeks before they see you.
I'm gonna be out on vacation. That's what I'm gonna be on. I'll be out on vacation, so that's why people can't see me at all. No.
Oh
No.
Lord, have mercy.
But maybe we'll see what happens. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to do a little bit of video editing and put myself in there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I can figure out. I don't know. Crystal's got to figure that one out. I still have to figure that out. Yeah, but that's all right though.
Yeah, it's fine.
As for the old school way, yes. So way back when they actually made phones before cell phones, they actually had a call. So literally, like a radio station would have to call, and talk to somebody over the phone. Okay, and they would have an interview. They would do an interview. You'd have all your DJs and do it this way. So we're doing something that's probably been around for a long time. Okay. And everyone's so used to technology and internet and everything else like that. So when it's out, it irritates people. And I always kind of wondered in a way that why don't companies, especially internet service providers or known as ISPs, why don't they have a backup plan? Like a low speed internet, okay? A low speed internet, like where if say something goes down, right? So you won't be able to play video games, right? You might be able to do a Zoom or chit chat about your friend, but you won't be able to do much. That's it. You won't be able to do a whole lot, which really sucks. But at least on the good note is they had some kind of backup where you had something to at least do basic stuff. It's not the end of the world.
I mean, yeah, true. I mean, during the first season and when I did interviews, I think when I actually did the one I had like the whole group on there. I think that one time before I invited you to come on by yourself. This is actually the way how I recorded that audio.
And there's nothing wrong with, to me, and by all means, I mean, I might have to do some interviews where it's just going to probably be over the phone or something like that, or it might be just, might be somewhere they just don't want to be in a video. But, there'll be people that just don't want to do that stuff. But,
right.
We always say we're always happy that there's, to me, I always say, Crystal B always says this myself. My thoughts are, it's always nice that there are decent people out there, including Martel. I cannot express this enough. I probably talked about this too much, everyone, on our podcast, but I cannot express enough of how much this guy is going to go out of his way to actually help me out. Even though I do drive him nuts talking about it. I do. But I will say one thing is that when you find those people, wherever they are in the world, okay, if you're in North America, if you're in Central South America, if you're in if you're in the Middle East, India, if you're in Japan, wherever you are, Asian countries, if you're in Europe, anywhere around the world, when you find that person, Africa, oh, forgot Africa, sorry, hold on, we can't forget about Africa, buddy. I almost forgot about it. Otherwise, Martel would be like, Crystal would be like, oops, sorry.
The shame on you.
I'm sorry, I'm not shaming anybody. Just forgot about it. Forgive me. But you know what? When you find those people that you can connect with and be friends with, you know what? It's good things, all good things, really. We do know that little things will give you hiccups in life. We know that sometimes things will happen.
Right.
But we have to look at it this way. Little things. I've had little bad things go on this week. So little bad things are something I could actually overcome, which is good.
Right.
And it's crazy that we, granted, now we're just talking about COVID and everything with the health thing. There's a lot of things. I was just talking to a woman today we were just talking about, what? I think the hazard pay, what about like all these other incentives that our countries get, like Europe, which the next podcast we'll be talking about that. So I don't want to get into too much detail, but that's a good point. She brought some good pointers, and we'll talk about the next one. So I never like to give everything away. I never like to. We just make a little snips to make you interested, to be like, ooh, I need to listen to that one.
So you say.
Well, we try to keep it interesting. We try to.
It's not like you be working hard for the money.
I mean, hey, we have to hustle, do our regular jobs, which
True.
I know is the most exciting.
I hate it.
Someday we're gonna hustle enough where the podcast will be our gig, our thing.
True.
Our cup of tea every day. And just think who you got to answer to. Well, I have to answer to Martel, okay, because he is actually the owner, CEO, board of directors, everybody else. I'm just the co-host, so I'm just the pretty girl that just likes to have fun and randomly talk about everything.
All right, so guys, you hear my phone beep right now? That's because Tina Marie is calling, so she's gonna have to wait. I'm gonna call her back when I'm done. We're done recording.
All right, yeah. So we definitely will not be able to take that call at this time.
Yeah, I don't think I want you guys to hear that conversation at all.
No.
So maybe we should let's wrap it up for this week.
So thank you very much for listening to Same Cast, Different Day. I'm your co-host, Crystal B. You can check me out on my social medias you can check me out Crystal B on Facebook. You can check me out on TikTok at oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought on TikTok.
Was Care Bear Wisconsin's I don't remember.
You can check me out at Miss Care Bear WI. I don't know how I had a blank. What happened? I don't know. Maybe it's because I was laying down, maybe because I had to do the phone thing and stuff. And they can also check me out on the Gen X side of Snapchat, I guess.
Snapchat is for old people. I stand on that. I stand on it. Snapchat is for old people.
The boomer Snapchat?
Yes.
And I'm not a boomer, though. I'm only 34, dude. I'm only 34. You can check me out there at DJ Care Bear 131. So, and Mr. Martel, our host, where are all your fancy social media apps at?
So they can find me on the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, and the TikTok at Martel Roland. It's my username, handle, whatever they call them. That's where you can find me at. You can find the podcast on Facebook, which is Same Cast Different Day Podcast, and then on Instagram is at Same Cast DFNT Day Podcast on Instagram. Yeah. So thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Same Cast Different Day Podcast. Don't forget you can check me out on to get links to all those different things. You check me out on direct.me/Martel Roland. Don't forget to check out the podcast at direct.me/Same Cast Different Day Podcast. And don't forget you can check out Crystal B, which is direct.me/Crystal B.
Care Bear 131.
Oh, Care Bear 131. My mistake.
That's all good. All good.
Make sure y'all check it out. And don't forget to leave us that 5-star review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to drop us a review on there also, along with Audible for those of you who listen on Audible. So thank you all for tuning in to Same Cast Different Day Podcast. This has been an official Buck Fun production.